Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field of Glory's Empires as our campaign against the Macedonians continues. So power play and underhand attack actions conquered Boeotia. Okay, so we'd gone ahead and fortified that with the Roman limes. But apparently they were able to take it back. Garrison was unable to hold. Semi-surprised because we don't see a field army they have in the area. How they took it back so quickly, but we'll dig in on the other one. Foul play. Like I say, I guess what's happening is we're getting like a revolt, and the place is falling back to the enemy by a revolt. Which in that case is somewhat annoying. Okay, let's march these guys in. Try to put pressure on them. Take back the old fortress. We'll see if we can get that to stay this time. Art of the Siege. We are down to one last wall to breach. Marching to put the pain down there. Worked on those ones already. Do you have more to do? No, so it's time for you to move. Over to say there. Yeah, we are kind of waiting for it to come through and just do a bunch of regional roads. A bunch of this area. I mean, flying due to become a province. Okay. We're done in the army now choice? Yes. Okay. So let's go through the provinces and we'll get cycling. Before I forget, should put a timer on. The part go too long. Or too short. Got one build choice here. Probably want a loyalty building. Probably want a loyalty building that is bigger than 4. So the fortune teller is going to get passed up. Okay, and then we just don't need that much construction. Going up to the +3 is probably worth it, so we'll put you on culture here. Going up to the +3 is probably worth it, so we put culture. We've already got the +3. No, we got +1, and definitely going to +2 is definitely worth it. Pushing to +4 probably isn't. Pushing the +4 probably isn't. That's the +2. So the +3 is. +4 is maybe pushing a little too far. We still have surplus 180 infrastructure. So money. Money. Oh, we need a little bit more than that. Otherwise, I'm going to start backsliding on infrastructure. So we'll do that. That's good. Do a little more futzing with that next turn when we get a different roll, I think. Different result. We do probably want the loyalty here. We want to stay below 75. Humoury isn't. Well, the racing track's providing 48 money, so it's better than the one that's providing 30. Because of the loyalty. We don't need the marble vein. Well, we don't need the marble from the marble vein. Preceptor house is probably fine. Good. And we don't need that much infrastructure to get that done. Need like 40 probably? No, the racing track's really going to be determining, right? Oh no, we need like 40. Okay. You can get up to +3, so we'll put you on culture. You're already on +3, which is why you have your own wealth. You're on +3, so you're going to go on wealth. And you're on +3, so you're going to go on wealth. And then we can move more to food to get some growth going. Eventually get a few more slots. Okay. Any more and we're going to run the risk of not finishing the preceptor house. Yeah. One to build here. Culture building's real tempting. 40 culture is just really nice. Sure, we'll go with the culture building because it's real nice. Two open slots. Nearby structures need wax, would provide at 15 more culture, or we could do the courthouse. We'll do the culture. Could use the loyalty here. No, we don't need the loyalty that badly. Never mind, we'll do the loyalty anyway. Okay, and then we're going to go through this province one bit at a time. Check to see if we've got +1, +2, or +3 legacy. If we're at the +3 legacy anywhere, we're going to tell them to stop doing culture and swap over to money making. Looking at it, the answer to that is probably no. Most of these places are on +1. This is new enough that we've got a lot of legacy making potential here. And we just haven't realized. Okay. And if that's the case, it's going to be the case the rest of the way through. So we're going to sort of go flying through these a little bit quicker. Ooh, land expansion versus monument. We're going to do land expansion because extra slots is nice. Actually, no, we will use the loyalty from the pleasure mansion there. We can back off of insertion a bit. We'll hold on to it for a moment. Don't need to grow at maximum speed at all times. Okay, and those buildings will finish. So, next province. One open slot. We do need loyalty, so we'll grab the Noble District. Roman camp, regional roads. And then we'll upgrade it to limes, and then we hit the point where we can go over here and... Yeah, so that one should be ready to be upgraded to paved. Time to get the Legionnaire over there. Four and a 3, so we got lots of building slots. This is out in the boonies, so probably upgrading the... Well, this is also right on the border where the raiders will come in, so walls is a good thing. This is a little bit better, but yeah, still wall it up. As you might imagine, the desert is not necessarily the best place for farming. So the ops don't work particularly well food-wise there. Could import tin. We'd be importing it from foreign nation, which isn't super great. I think let's do the reroll here. Grab the watchtower, make it a little more defensive. Grabbing the crafting district. One open slot. For the camel raiders, we're looking for stables. And we got one open slot, so that's what we pretty much should be rolling for. In this case, it's less of a roll and more if it complete the city walls. That's a 0 slot that will functionally reroll this all for us. Two open slots in one place. We're not even going to use it. We're going to take advantage that we got an open slot to swap with the courthouse. Three and 3. New territory's got lots of stuff to build. Okay, and we're now on to the individual stuff. Individual loose ones, like here. Okay. Let's cycle the turn. See how well the armies are. Acquiring and holding our objectives. Again, the whole province is defecting 5 seconds after I leave them thing is a little annoying. Interesting. I wasn't expecting the fort to fall as we left it. Killed another one of their generals and chopped up their army quite a bit. Still in the progressing tier. Looks like Macedonia isn't. Where is Macedonia? There's Macedonia. Not quite in the declining tier. They do have one aging token. This will hang around for 12 turns. I wonder if our leader is going to change within the next 12 turns. His health is poor. And the reason is because he's an abysmal administrator. So if we can get one that's, you know, better, just better, then that event will have less likelihood of doing bad results when we do the choice I want. The wolves are down. Wolves are down. Okay, so we'll bring the fleet over. What's our siege odds? Still expect to last a long time. Because they're getting plenty of food in because of the unblockaded harbor. I'm gonna risk a assault of the fort. At least without the walls, the urban militia are only defense 4. And they've only got 2 siege engines. Right, so then more than that would be a little more of an issue. Otherwise, you're digging into that place. You were ordered to move where you were before. You didn't successfully get there in time, but you're ordering to move this time. You're digging in, you were sieging, digging, yeah. Okay. Build the lime, and then start to move inland and east. You may still see activity in the Macedonia at this rate anyway. You know, you got diverted to come over here to deal with the Averti. Art of the Siege. Yeah, I think it's going to be that one in the west. The one in the east, we're ordering an assault, so it's either going to be done or it's not going to be great. Regional roads and move. One open slot here. Isn't something we're going to re-roll. Possibly something I'm going to re-roll. 14 loyalty from the Noble District is acceptable. Would like better, but it's acceptable. Oh, we don't need much more. Make it work. There we go. So the Noble District should finish, provide 14 more loyalty. We're going to want more than that, but eventually population growth will kick in and give them more. Or a slave will show up or something. We'll see. 18 food, that's a decent orchard. Only missing the dates. That's all building. This might be a place to go through, checking to see if we're on 2 or 3. That's 1, that's 2, that's 2, that's 1. That's a 1 that's about to go to 2. 1, that's 2, that's 2. Wait, was that 3? No, that's 2. 2 and 2, okay. Build up a monument. 2 slots there. Could have pulled the monument again, it didn't pull the monument. That's not a Noble District we want to build. We'll wall up a bit. It's 1 and a 2. Pretty decent caravan house. 10% commerce is always good as well. And the 2. Do you want an armor? You can roll 1 up. Armor is a level 1 tier, yes. Okay, we'll take the preceptor house while we're waiting. And then we'll push these guys on to more appropriate tasks. So, citizens make culture. Apparently those are citizens as well, so make culture. Those are the slaves, okay. One open slot. City walls. More culture, on to the next one. It's fine. 3 open slots, so it's just one place that we want to build reasonably efficiently. Don't actually want any of those options, so we'll just do a reroll. The provincial here is Numidian medium cavalry. Yeah, Numidian medium cavalry that are desert men. So they get 3 attack in the desert, 3 defense in the desert. Got 6 range attack, making them very vicious as support troops in the desert. Granted, as Rome, we're less interested in them because we've got infantry that basically does all that. Can afford to deploy it. Crafter District or Watchtower. Given where it is, we'll do the Watchtower. That'll actually provide us with 6 military buildings. So we will have options from Tier 3 military, actually, at that point. 3 building slots here. Blacksmith. 2 slot and 1 slot. We want some more conversion before we change the temple type, so we're not ready for that yet. Weaver wouldn't be that bad. And to school. Three, two, two. We got conversion we want to do here. Build up the city walls. Building the cult site to accelerate that conversion doesn't sound like a bad idea. A delicacy shop. You can import figs, which we have. As you can see, I think technically to play a delicacy shop, you have to have one of the 4 resources, whether it's figs, honey, dates, nuts, and seeds, currently in the province. The delicacy shop will import one of those 4, and then give you bonuses for having the other 3. And technically you can get bonuses from the neighboring provinces, so you could technically build a selection in a way where you get neighbor bonuses. So like you build the figs someplace, the neighbor imports the honey, the neighbor to that one imports the dates, and so on to stack the bonuses. But you got to have one of them in the area before you can start building them, right? So either we have figs, or we have honey, or we have dates, or we have nuts and seeds here. In this case, we can kind of see it presumably has honey because it's getting the bonus from honey. It needs figs, and it doesn't say is a local resource. So weirdly, we're gonna, if we play this building here, we'll import figs and then add honey to it because we've got honey locally. So we're able to build it because of the honey. Which, because we import figs, is maybe worth doing. It might be worth doing it here. But it's too much of a confusion mix, and the fact that in practice you really want more than 2. Right? We're getting 3 culture from this. If we had all 3 of them, it'd be 9. Actually, to be fair, we're being hit with under pacification here, which is dropping the culture by half. So it's like 6 each. So it would be 18, all 3 of them. That would be good. Here, with its only being 3 because of under pacification, it's pretty lackluster. And then even once the under pacification goes away, it's only 6. So we're going to do a reroll, because I just don't like any of the choices we've got there. I'm running hard about something that isn't really super important, I think, but... Oh wait, in this province, this is a big province. It is now assembled. And with that, we can focus a lot more on getting stuff built. Or vice versa, once everything's built on making revenue or making more people. Okay, we're now on to the loose territories that don't have anything. Atticus here has nothing. We'll say it should queue up a barracks. And that was the only one that needed seeing to. Okay. Let's cycle that turn. Okay, we'll just do the skip there. Some guys sallying there. They're attacking us. Oh no, this is the storm that we got going in. We've exhausted them. 9v3, and that's even with super bonus. So yeah, this is... Siege is done. Wall's been breached. Garrison surrenders. After the storm. Ranged phase. Very heavy skirmishing, exhausts a lot of the enemy front line. Gives us some decent dice rolls. Skirmish. Enemy front line's pretty exhausted, so we go and give it a good rickety-rickety wreck. And, and we break up some of the guys in the back as they run away. And I think what's ended up happening here is we're sort of ping-ponging the army back and forth. Still in the progressing tier. Either due to new conquests or just other changes, we have dropped 3 places, but there's 20 places in the progressing tier, so we're not super worried about that. Get more Carter or pay money. Well, we have money, so pay money. Got the area under siege, expected to be quick. I'm surprised they were able to take that so quickly. Well, push the army back into that place. And then we're gonna have you... We're gonna have you march over there. Meantime, you march in there. Okay, so they're all marching around. Hopefully get something functional on the next turn. Siege there continues. Not necessarily expected. Well, it's expected to be quick because the walls are going to break down pretty quickly. Okay, we'll move to Latinium. And then that's the troop movement east and the west. Maybe the exception of sending around the Legionnaire for construction purposes. Okay. Needs the safe. We're not actually don't have anything to build there. We should either be working culture, which that one's not. That needs to be wealth. It's just the wealth and the wealth. And then we'll stack up food production. Can. That might actually be, because that's specifically a bad place to make food. Not the place we want to make food. Need 26 more on production. Always end up a little bit of production roll. There we go. I suppose we could do a once over quickly on the culture ones. So you're on culture because you got like just short of 3,000. Yeah, just short of 3,000 go. 3,000 apparently isn't that bad to get to quickly. Well, the 15,000 is not that bad to get to quickly. One open slot here. Good to build the barracks. Yeah. That's fine. One build slot there. Could grab the Master Herbalist here. Oh, that's... No, 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 no. Needs more supporting items. Needs access to drugs. Needs access to nuts, dates, figs to be really worth it. I might still have been tempted to do it if it had like some global effect, but it's also very locally focused. That is a very high, well, let's say very high, decently valued mint, 52 more money. Candle shop, can import the wax, so that's not a problem. Maybe not what we're looking for. We'll do a reroll here. Weapons manufacturer is tempting. But no, we're still going to delay it and grab courthouse. One open slot here. Grab the wheelmaker. From the wheelmaker would give us a 6 infrastructure building, giving us access to the tier 2 infrastructure buildings, which does include the +1 building slot building, so that's not too bad of an idea. One, 4, 2. Reroll here. I don't like the choices we're getting there. We've got the armor, so that the irreducible tribe should just disappear. Like 1 in 5 probability every turn. Might not be immediate, but it should just be going away at some point. At this point, we've got places where this can import papyrus, but they're all from abroad. So we're going to hold off here on doing that upgrade. The orchard isn't that bad. That's a decent orchard. Libya 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade the wall. We get offered wall upgrades, it's usually worth taking them. Got the patience to tie the construction queue up for a bit. We got a lot to convert, so we don't want to take the thing that's going to take the conversion benefits away. But it is a decent farm. We'll take the decent farm. Two open slots. That one's fine. One open slot here. Don't have papyrus here. There's a decent possibility we'll import papyrus here. So I might just build a street poller anyway with the assumption that we will import it later. Yep, I think that's fine. Oh, lots of building slots here. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, yep. Commercial port is tempting, but we can see here, well, we got a commerce malice as well, which isn't helping. But we're not getting enough commerce here to really warrant that. More loyalty just to stabilize the place wouldn't be too bad, so the tribal union is not bad. We're 150 loyalty, so we're not super rushing. Okay, so we got local access to honey and figs. Would have to import the nuts. But now we're getting into something quite decent, right? We're getting 2 of the bonuses. And it's just the fact that we've got the minus 50% culture here that's making the culture look a little bad. So let's try building... Well, we will build that nuts location. This one is touching that one, so this would be a place where if we get a different one, it would be nice. This actually isn't a bad place to build the cataphracts either. Make this our heavy cavalry recruiting location. Yeah, okay. Because we get Aquitanian cavalry here. The Aquitanian cavalry is technically medium cav. So if we really wanted to min-max it, we probably want to build it a place where we get a provincial heavy cav, like the German cavalry over here. Oh, I'm thinking this province when I'm thinking the cataphract. No. That's not the brand new province. The one of the bigger, older one was what I was expecting it was from the location. If it was the bigger, older one, it would have been a no-brainer. That would have been a good choice. Another wall. Then we got the new province here, which is quite new. No prospecting yet. What do you want? Expert stonecutter. So this is actually something we can do. Build the expert stonecutter here to get the possibility of it just clearing on its own without me needing to use prospect resources. Yeah, we'll grab the loyalty producing building there. And so our smokehouse makes it a reasonable second chance. Okay, we're now on the loose. We do a coastal fortress. We're not really worried about the coast here. We'd have to import this from Dacia, which we don't really want to do. I think we're just going rural here. Infrastructure, or actually no, grab the 0 slot loyalty building. And then we have Cyrenica down here. Grab the Oration Tribune. Okay, let's go ahead and cycle that turn. I think this is going to be the last end turn of the stream. We're already 40 minutes over on the episode, so yeah, I think that this will be the last end turn. See if we get any more real progress on Macedonians. Their armies are definitely starting to lose quality quite a bit. Oops, just clicked outside the window. Let's give me one, I'm gonna click it back again. As they're being more and more dependent on Sizz and Hoplites instead of Phalanxes. Got a decent number of mercenaries over there, though. And yes, we have enough legacy points again if we can bump Macedonia off the legacy tracker. Which I think it's if you fully go to the nation and they don't hang around for some number of turns, then they will drop off the list. I think they technically keep their score in the background, so if something happens and they come back from the dead, they do respawn on the list. But okay, given the circumstances, we'll move you there. Guy is a decent attacker. We'll actually go and move this guy into the open terrain. Siege here is continuing. One unbreached wall. Mostly exhausted troops, so let's actually just go ahead and order the assault here. So if they don't surrender, we'll assault. Oh, I'm getting a little bit carried away. I was going to go ahead and put a part break in here. So we'll drop the Federate Barbarian before I forget. Go through our things. Nothing really noticeable there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up. The War with Macedon is not straightforward. On the other hand, we are starting to trit their forces down. They used to have one big stack of like 100+ units. That may in fact be this stack here that's at 46, just to give you an idea of how many losses they've taken. Or maybe the stack up here that's 42. But yeah, they've had a couple of doom stacks. They are definitely overextended and are slowly being chipped away at. And if we can basically annex them, I think that's a state where we win. Legacy-wise, we're still getting the 27 from government. We're getting up to 176 a turn now from regions. 5 are in that +3 range. 24 are in the +2 range. 67 are in the +1 range. I'm not exactly sure how many provinces we actually have. We can look that up in a moment. We have, obviously in all the provinces, we have 28 that were technically objectives at the time we took them, which means we get 1 point, or 21 that were technically objectives at the time we took them. So that means we're getting 1 point each before a 35% action modifier. And then we have 41 legacy coming from 30 legacy producing buildings. Most of these now, unlike at the beginning of the game, are actually permanent, and we do not have to worry about them going away over time. Whenever you take a capital, I think the capital technically provides like half a point of legacy or something like that for however long it takes for your citizens to decide to tear down the old capital. Anyway, we're in first place. Second place is farther down. Right, they're just around 9,000 legacy points, and measure on what your success or failure will be judged on at the end of the game. Even your nation does not endure the test of time, you might win the game if you manage to gather a lot of LPs. Correspondingly, it's possible to not achieve victory, even with a large portion of the map under your control, if you're only a rampaging horde of uncultured barbarians. Yeah. Our culture to decadence ratio has risen. We're back up to like 1.42. For a while we were getting close to 1-to-1, which was a little bit bad. So that might get changed again if we end up going back into Golden Age. Region-wise, I was hoping clicking regions there would give us an idea of how many we had. That's a number I would like to know. There we go. We got 122 regions. Which from, like I say, 122... 4 plus 5 plus 7... 16... 96. So 96 of our 122 regions are providing some legacy just from the raw amount of culture they've generated. So it's not quite all of them. Something like 30-something new ones are still a little too uncultured to be helping there. But that probably won't last particularly long. A bit of a cough there. We got new feasts on the calendar. Increased farmer labor going. And yeah, we still have some places we're trying to passivate. Well, I guess public works is referred to as track in the game. Creation of tracks in the region, yeah. Okay. Whereas once you get upgraded to the regional road, it's called road and paved and so on. We got some uniques in some places. Like the Pythia, Temple of Zeus, Stone Quarry. Oh, I think this is the Parthenon. Intrepid Wonder is regarded as a sign of the old days and its habits of the current inhabitants, right? So that's a ruined wonder. It is a shame, but it's a ruined wonder. Okay. And yeah, we are in fact getting some legacy from places we've actually taken off of Macedonia, so this is was still a good plan. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow. And well, there probably will be part up tomorrow. We should get around recording another part, because right now the plan is that I'm doing a 4-game, 4-day cycle and recording 4 parts per day. I believe this is the end of the 4th part, unless I have miscounted. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you've been enjoying. The next stream of this will be in 4 days. Tomorrow will be Europe Universalis 4. I think we've only got about 6 more nations to subjugate in Europe Universalis 4. Though America will be a little tedious, I think. Because they're going to take like 5 or 6 wars. Everyone else, I think we're down to 1 on. The day after that will be the Long Dark. The day after that will be Shadow Empire. Maybe we'll finish Shadow Empire up that day. I've been saying that for a while, so maybe don't trust me on that. The day after that, we'll be back to this. This one, we're seeing the path to victory. Honestly, if our legacy rate keeps growing relative to everyone else, we may be able to still win, even if we don't carry through and finish off Macedon. Because we are actually at the point where we are getting a winning income rate. Not just a we win at 500 turns rate, but we will win given enough time. We are producing income more than 3 times everyone else. But that still means we need to run up the score against Macedon factor of 3. It's going to take a bit. Of course, stopping Macedon from getting any would help a lot. So yeah, I hope everyone's been enjoying. Until the next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye. Well, a little bit not bye for now because we're going to quickly put the save in. This is stream 7. Oh no, new save. Gotta remember if you click it and then you, even if you re-modify the name, it still saves over the old save. So save 7 Rome. Okay, and with that, bye for now.